Hi there, it's me. Welcome today to me talking about, primarily I want to talk about Mars in Gemini today, right now. Um, the chart I have up here right now is the ingress of Mars into Gemini when Mars moved from Taurus into Gemini on March 31st to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And where we are right now is we have April 3rd, Mars at 2 degrees. So in the past few days, Mars has moved a little bit into Gemini. Um, so to start off talking about Gemini energy, Gemini is an air sign and it's a mutable sign. So air is the element, and the element of air is representative of the world of thoughts and ideas and um, communication and the interchange and conveyance of ideas and information through communication through different forms. I also correlate Gemini energy to like pollinator energy. So like a busy little bee running from here to there. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury has to do again with this sort of like conveyance of information and exchanges. So the way that little bees buzz about from here to there to there to there, gathering and disseminating and gathering and disseminating and gathering and disseminating. That's very much sort of like the Gemini energy. And Mercury, one thing to be careful about with Mercury and its correspondence to the rulership of Gemini is that Mercury tends to not put value judgments on the information. It just is like takes information as it is. So there isn't necessarily a process of like evaluating the information or checking up on facts of the information. It's just like information coming and going, whatever it is. So there is that to be aware of with Gemini. With Mars, we're getting a lot of energy and action and drive and motivation imported into this type of energy for information exchange. And with Mars, there can always be semblances of like aggression and frustration, and also just like super chatterboxy energy. Um, Again, with like no holds bar kind of thing. So, in a general sense, for this time period, while Mars is in Gemini, be careful for quick temper tendencies towards argumentation in a very general sense. Mercury and Gemini, I also correlate to like driving and commutes. So like road rage might also be a thing that might be more prevalent or people may be more prone to at this time. So be careful driving for aggressive drivers, including yourself and myself. um, and so Mars is the ruler of Aries, and the sun is currently in Aries. We're in Aries season right now. So this Mars moving into Gemini is having, quite the impact of the overall feeling of this period, as well as Mercury ruling Gemini, ruling Mars, ruling Aries, and Mercury in Pisces, which we still have that like wateriness feeling, feelingness, boundarylessness kind of things going on. But in terms of Mars right now, also what's going on is the one aspect that Mars is really making right now really closely is, besides the semi-sextile to Uranus, which people don't always count, is this sextile to Chiron. So as you can see, this little key right here at 2 degrees 33 of Aries is in this sextile, which is like a 60 degrees away of 2 degrees 16 Mars at Gemini. So the energy of Chiron here, Chiron is known as the wounded healer, and in a very general, typical sense. And Chiron has a way of bringing up sensitivities and pain and things that are triggering for us, things that we may feel shame about or very tender about, often relating to traumatic experiences in childhood, which leave imprints on us that we have to live with and cope with and develop strategies of finding healing around. And it's through living with our Chiron wounds and developing those strategies and working with different modalities to heal them that we ourselves become proficient healers in those areas of our life. So Chiron having that wounded transformation into healing, but it's like you always have that original wound, so it's always tends to be something triggering. That's my tea going off. 1 second. Did I do that right? Yeah, okay. Is it still recording? I think it was. Okay, that's fine. So Mars is making this sextile aspect to Chiron right now. So Mars, our aggressive, masculine, outward-directed action energy in the sign of communication and interchange, is making an aspect with the wounded healer, which may be bringing up issues in our lives around the ways we communicate with each other, and especially around like violent communication and healing aggressive communication, and bringing up awareness around strategies for coping with that and developing nonviolent communication and things like that. This also may be a great time for like primary education. Gemini can be about just like basic education on something, sort of like 101 courses, or just like learning in general. Again, taking in that information. So with Mars and Gemini, there may be a lot of like energy available to studying right now, to studies. And with the sextile to Chiron, we may want to focus specifically on studying something in the healing arts about healing our relationship with ourself and our subjectivity and our, latent aggressions in many regards. For me personally right now, like right as soon as Mars went into Gemini, I got 2 books in the mail, both of them being about healing. And right now I'm working specific. So this is The Body Keeps the Score. I'm going to get into this one. Right now I'm working specifically with Codependent No More by Melanie Beattie. And so this is kind of perfect for this time right now because I'm like voraciously going through this book. So with that Mars energy, I'm like devouring the information in this book. And it's healing, right? It's self-help, it's healing. It's working on healing my relationship to myself and to my codependent proclivities and the like latent aggression, frustration that has come in many of those codependent patterns. That, I mean, honestly, I feel like everybody should read this book. So, that we all can latently carry around with us. So that's kind of what I wanted to speak on right now and put that out there. Mars and Gemini will be taking place till, when is it going till? 6 weeks. May 15th, 2019 is when Mars will leave Gemini. So we have from now, so we have a little over a month more. Mars generally takes around 2 months to traverse through each sign. So for the next month and so, it's a great time for education. It's a great time for communicating passionately, but again, be aware of sort of like the unconscious, subconscious aggressions within communication and things like that. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Oh, did I do it yet?